I did not like the way that this mic was clipping onto my dress, so I'm gonna hold it, but I talk with my hands, so it's gonna be really hard for me. Okay, I'm already like multiple takes in, so forgive me. Forgive me for the way that this audio is gonna be. I probably won't hold the mic very steady, but I'm gonna try. Okay, if you used to watch my YouTube video, first, I used to post videos consistently. When I did, I really enjoyed it. I love YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I love consuming content. I love hearing from different people's perspectives. Um, I think YouTube is an amazing platform. Me posting this video does not mean that I'm like back to posting consistently. I would love that. I just don't know if that's something I can commit to at this point in my life. I have a lot of other things going on, a lot of other commitments, and things that I truly love, nothing that I want to give up on at this time. So I'm posting this video. If you want me to post other videos, let me know in the comments. Give me ideas, DM me, send me your thoughts. I have a couple ideas of like other videos that I could do, but I'm not promising that I'm going to be like posting regularly, posting on any certain day of the week, any certain amount of time. I'm not committing to anything. This is one video. You get one, we'll see about the rest. I've had this idea for a video for a little while. If you remember my old videos, you'll notice that obviously my background looks different. My mom and I just moved into a new house, so this background, I just did my best today to like film the video. I'm not saying this is how like I'm gonna leave this setup if I ever do a video again. I'm just doing my best. I had this video actually a couple weeks ago when we were still in our old house. I had this idea in my head. It literally like smacked me upside the face, like upside the head. Like it hit me. It hit me intense. And I remember being on the phone with somebody and I was like, oh my gosh, I have this idea for a video. And they're like, film it. And I'm like, well, the house. And like, literally, I had like everything taken off my walls at that point. I'm like, it looks crazy. But when I get in the new house, if it's still in my head, I'll do it. So here we are in the new house and it's still in my head. And I've done a bunch of research to prepare for this video. And I'm ready. I'm excited. Oh, if you like the content, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I don't remember if I said that or not. What I'm here to talk about, what I have come out of YouTube hiatus, what I've come out of hiding for, is to discuss the concept of the it girl versus the Proverbs 31 woman. So this came to me because I love YouTube. I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos about perfume recommendations, and then these videos started coming up on my feed about it girls. So like, what is an it girl, how to be an it girl, my it girl routine, all this stuff. And I started watching them and I'm like, oh, these videos are so cute. So I kept watching more. The algorithm, once you watch one, it's gonna send you every single one that was ever made. So I'm watching these videos and I'm I'm taking some notes on certain things that I like and might want to implement into my life, and I'm really enjoying them. And then one day I was just kind of convicted, almost like just a little bit. And I'm like, why am I watching all of these videos about an it girl when the OG it girl is Miss Proverbs 31 woman? Who do I really want to be? Do I want to be her? Do I want to be the Proverbs 31 woman that has stood the test of time? She's a classic. She's an icon, okay? She's not just the moment. Like, she is every moment. Or do I want to be an it girl? Like, it for the time. So, an it girl has kind of been this trend. It's been this talked about topic, like how to be an it girl, like how to be her, like she's that girl. And there's a lot of things about that concept that I love and that I think are really cool. It girls drink their water. If you know me, I be drinking my water. It girls, they do like to smell good. They like to look nice. They get their workouts in. There's a lot of things about the concept of an it girl and it girl routines that I really love. But I wanted to be really clear about what an it girl is to society when I made this video. I went on Gemini, which is Google's AI. And I used AI for certain projects. I love AI. I love using AI to delve into topics that maybe I don't understand, want a different perspective on. Sometimes I submit like writing pieces of mine to Gemini and I'm like, how can I improve this? Give me some tips. And it will. And it's really, really useful for those sorts of things. I'm not telling you to like use it to write your papers, but using it for ideas, for brainstorming, and for improving, super cool. So I use it to brainstorm a little bit for this video. And here's what Gemini has to say about what is an it girl. So, the it girl concept has evolved over time, but some core traits remain. Here's the breakdown. Confidence. This is a big one. It girls own their individuality and exude a magnetic self-assurance. Trendsetter. They have a finger on the pulse of culture and fashion, influencing what's hot. Intriguing. There's a certain je ne sais quoi to them, an undefinable charisma that draws people in. Style savvy. It girls curate a unique style, not afraid to experiment and to be bold. The modern it girl can also be more than just looks. While attractiveness can play a role, success in a field, a strong personality, or an interesting life story can also make someone an it girl. Social media savvy. In today's world, many it girls leverage social media to cultivate their image and connect with fans. It's important to remember that the it girl status is often created by media and cultural observers, not necessarily by the person themselves. So keep that in mind. So when we're talking about an it girl, there's usually a general mold that an it girl would fit in. Like, yes, she can be unique, but like we think about influencers and they probably have nice skin and they probably own a Stanley Cup or something like that. Like they have certain traits that we can identify with an it girl. But in contrast, the Proverbs 31 woman, I also went to Gemini and said, give me a summary of what a Proverbs 31 woman is. Here's what it says. The Proverbs 31 woman is a description of a virtuous wife in the Bible. Here are some of her key traits. Faithful. Her core foundation is a strong belief in God. Hardworking. She's diligent and industrious, taking care of her household and pursuing goals. Capable. She has many skills, from managing finances to sewing clothes. Wise. She speaks with wisdom and offers good advice. Strong. She possesses inner strength, courage, and resilience. Supportive. She's a loving wife who helps and encourages her husband. Kind and generous. She shows compassion to those in need. It's important to note that the Proverbs 31 woman is an ideal, and not all women will embody every trait. The passage is more about the overall character of a virtuous woman than the checklist. Okay, so that's from AI. This is me. This is Mackenzie. So, in case you didn't know, Proverbs 31, 10 through 31 was written in the original Hebrew as an acrostic poem, meaning that each verse begins with a successive letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So as a writer, as a creative person, I love that God is so intentional and he is such a prolific artist. Like there are so many intentional stylistic choices in the Bible, in scripture that I just love. Like I'm just fascinated by the forethought, the incredible attention to detail. So let me just read a few select verses. I'm going to read them in the NLT. Even though I love my KJV, I do use other translations in the Bible for better understanding, for better clarification, to better explain it to other people in words that they know. I was a Bible quizzer for 11 years, so the KJV makes sense to me. And I hold it very near and dear to my heart, but I understand that a lot of people find it confusing and very off-putting and very much unapproachable. So I like to, compare. And also, when I am translating things to people in Spanish, it's easier for me. Of course, I do read from the Spanish Bible, but if there's something that like I don't know or I need to explain a concept deeper, I'll look in other English translations and then translate those words. So they're easier to translate from than the KJV. Verse 10. This is a super popular verse, right? Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. That was 10 through 12. Now let's skip down a little bit to verse 16. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Verse 25, also super popular. She is clothed with strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. Okay, so you can go on and read more of those verses. Those are just a few select ones that I love. So in reading Proverbs 31 in a few different translations and doing some research, here's a few points that I feel are notable. She enriches her husband's life. That is like, so first and foremost, that is key. She is not taking away from this man and draining this man of his energy. She is enriching his life. She is adding to him. She is an incredible partner. She is just contributing to him in every fashion. She is capable. This woman does not just sit around and expect everybody to do things for her. She does not say, oh, I can't do it. Like, oh, she doesn't just not try. She puts forth the effort. Like, she puts in the work. She is moving. She's handling her business. This woman, she does not sit around. She does not wait for other people to solve her problems. She's a doer, okay? She's productive. She busies herself with the right tasks. Like, she doesn't just do mindless tasks. She is focused. She is intentional. What am I about to say? I almost said she is that girl. Because she is, right? Like, when we say she is that girl, usually we want to be that girl, right? We want to be her. She is her. This is the it girl right here. This is the OG it girl. She is that girl. She has always been that girl. She will always be that girl. Okay? She works. She takes care of the house, but she don't just sit at home. She works. She buys things with her own money. And here's the best part. This is what I love. It said in some of the verses that I read, she inspects the field before purchasing. She is not frivolous with her money. She doesn't just hear, oh, that's a good field over there, and then go buy it. She's like, let me do some research. Let me find out for myself. And that's something that I've really been working on, because I have a habit of just like hearing about a product and being like, it must be amazing. And then I get it and I'm really disappointed. I'm like, why did I spend my money on this? And sometimes I return it, but let's be honest, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just use it. Find out for yourself. Go test it. Go get a sample, whatever, about products, about things you're spending your money on. And let's be intentional. Inspect the field before you buy it and really think, do I need this? You know, obviously we're not buying a field. Maybe you are. If you're buying land out here, go sis. Let me hear about it. I'm cheering you on. Go buy your land. Go buy your house, you know, whatever. I love to hear about it. But I think it's really the point is she's intentional with her money. She is not frivolous. She's frugal, but she's not cheap. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing with her money. She's savvy with her money. She's smart. Even though she's working hard on her own tasks, she is still selfless and she cares for others. It talks about how she cares for the poor and needy. She cares for her husband. She cares for her children. She makes sure that everyone else is taken care of, and she takes care of herself. She doesn't neglect herself. She does not neglect herself. She knows how to put others first. She puts God first, then others, and then herself. She has balance. She's prepared. It tells you that her household has clothes for the winter before the season arrives. Ladies, let's be honest, we do not always prepare. I consider myself a very prepared individual. I'm a planner. I think things through. I think beforehand. My mind is already months out. Actually, I kid you not, this really happened. One of my friends literally texted me a date and was like, do you know if we have anything on the calendar for this date? I figured it would be easier to ask you than look for it in my calendar, because you'll answer me faster than I can find it. Because I keep the calendar in my head. Like, that's just me as a person, right? But she's more prepared than me. She said, I'm going to sit here and make these clothes before the winter even arrives. I'm going to make sure that my husband and my kids are taken care of. We all got clothes for the winter. She is well dressed, okay? She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. Her later in the chapter, her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bedspreads. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Another verse that's very important, and I will discuss this in a minute. Her husband is well known at the city gates, where he sits with the other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to the merchants. Okay, so she's well dressed. Okay, it doesn't say that she uses the cheapest materials to make her clothes. What does it say? She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Purple is generally known as like a very regal color. It's expensive. It's a color often worn by like royalty, okay? Kings, queens. She dresses in fine linen. She doesn't just use the cheapest material that's available. She wants to look nice. I think a lot of times as Christian women, we're trying to be humble, and we can think that that means we need to look homely or really like dim down our fashion. And I love to see apostolic women, Christian women out here dressing well, because just because we are modest does not mean that we cannot look good. It doesn't mean that we can't look nice, that we can't wear nice clothes, have nice things, or put intention into the way that we look. And I think that the Proverbs 31 woman, she was intentional about what she wore. Okay? But it doesn't say anywhere that she dressed for attention. She was intentional. That doesn't mean that she wanted everybody to look at her, but we forget that when we're dressing homely, run down, looking like we didn't put any effort into our appearance, people look at that. And then that's the idea in their head of like, that's what a Christian is, or that's what modesty is. And it kind of turns them off to modesty. Modesty is not limiting us. It's giving us boundaries within which we can express our style. I think it's very, very fun to actually have like, people think like, okay, there's so many more obstacles, right? But it's almost like, look at what I can do without following trends. Okay, so like, especially in the summer, think about the summer. Like, us modest fashion girlies in the summer, we have to do the work. Like, we have to think. We have to really be like, how can I make this work? How can I be in this heat, but also be covered? Modest girls that work out, we have to find the right skirts that can allow us to move our bodies in the gym and also be modest. We have to make sure that our shirts are long enough and our skirts are long enough and the leggings that go under and the shorts that go under are appropriate. You know, we have to be intentional with our fashion choices. I don't think that we can just roll up out of bed and throw something on, and that's necessarily the best way to showcase your Christian character or to portray godliness and holiness. I think that you should put at least some intention into your fashion choices. So I can go on a whole rant. I can make a whole other video about that. If you want me to, let me know. And I can also share like some of my like favorite modest fashion tips or my favorite modest fashion influencers or where I buy clothes, any of that. Like if you want to talk about modest fashion, let's do it. But anyway, this Proverbs 31 woman is well dressed. That's it. That's where I'll stop. I will pause. So in some of the other verses that I read, her husband is a well-respected leader. He is well-respected in the community. He is a leader. People know him. They're not like, oh yeah, that guy. No, they're like, oh, that guy. Oh, that's your husband? And people know him. And people respect him. He is taken seriously. And there's a whole other tangent I could get into about that. But ladies, this woman, she is in a marriage that honors God. She is not just with some random man. She is with her husband that God appointed for her life. They are partners together working for the kingdom. She has the joy of the Lord. We read later in the chapter that she laughs without fear of the future. This is one of the ones, like, I see all the videos that are like, oh, when you want to be a Proverbs 31 woman, but then you read that she wakes up early, like, oh. And yes, waking up early is hard, but like, that's manageable to me. I feel like, okay, I could do that, right? But like, laughing without fear of the future? Like, if you know me, you know that I can laugh, but not without fear of the future. I definitely struggle with that, with worry, with anxiety, with fear of the future, for sure. And I trust in God, right? Like, I know He has my back. I know He's always had me. He's uplifting me with His mighty right hand. Like, He's got me, right? I have confidence in the Lord. I have faith in Him. But I definitely can't say that I laugh without fear of the future yet. That's one of those things that I'm still working on. God's still perfecting me in that area. And His power is made perfect in my weakness, right? So that is a weak spot for me. Verse 26, this one also got me. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. I don't think that she just spoke mindlessly. I don't think that she just said stuff to say stuff. I think that when she expressed her opinion, she did it with dignity, she did it with care, she did it with purpose. She chose her words. She chose her moments. She didn't say everything that came to her mind. And I think that's very difficult. She was not careless with her words. As someone who likes to talk, sometimes I can be careless with my words. It's hard to be mindful all the time of what we're saying, especially when we're trying to defend ourselves, or we're stressed, or, we're in environments where a lot of things are coming to our mind and we have a lot to say, and we need to be really careful. We need to be careful about who's around. We need to be careful about how our words are going to affect somebody. Our words have power. I've been trying to drill through my Sunday school kids' heads that death and life is in the power of the tongue, that we cannot just be saying anything for the sake of being heard. But that's hard. That's hard for me. So I'm trying to remember this verse 26. When she speaks. When. Big emphasis there. Okay. And also, she doesn't have to be charming or beautiful, because her good deeds tell of her character. Her deeds speak for her. What she does, who she is, that's all that needs to be said. She doesn't constantly need to be like, oh, well, I do this and I do that and I'm here and I'm there. And did you see me? And did you see my fine linen and my purple gowns? And did you see that I knitted this new outfit for my husband? And yeah, have you met my man? He's such a well-respected leader. Oh yeah, he just got a new position. He just got a promotion. Okay, I need to calm down. Have you seen my kids? They're involved in all these sports and all these activities. Like, we have a bad habit of constantly trying to prove ourselves and constantly trying to, I have this habit too. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm innocent. I am not. But I feel like as a society, and especially as women, we feel the need to constantly be like, I'm enough. I need to prove myself. I need to prove my worth to people. Girl, just be. Be who you are. Be who God's called you to be. Be this Proverbs 31 woman. Embody these character traits. And obviously we're putting in the work. We're constantly working on them. We're working on ourselves. If you're not growing as a person, there's an issue. Like, you're not ever fully developed. I don't think that we're ever like, I'm good. Check. That's enough. Personal growth, yeah, not for me. Like, we should all be growing, right? And I think that the Proverbs 31 woman was. I think that she could acknowledge, she was wise, right? So she could acknowledge things in herself and others, I'm sure, that needed improvement. And I think that she was wise enough to work on them. So her good deeds told of her character. That's to sum that up. So here's the comparison. I did the contrast. I told you what an it girl is, what a Proverbs 31 woman is, according to AI, according to me, according to the Bible, all of that. Here's a little bit of a comparison. It girls are rooted in self-confidence. I think this is the biggest one. This is the biggest eye-opener. It girls are rooted in self-confidence. They are confident in who they are, their own individuality. Proverbs 31 women are rooted in God confidence. Their firm foundation is in the Lord, who He is. That's first and foremost, not who they are. They build their character based on who God is and who God has called them to be and their godly heavenly purpose. Okay. In what AI said about an it girl and the videos that I've seen, the content that I generally consume, there's not really a mention about other people. There's not really a mention about caring for the poor and needy, helping those less fortunate, even just the people around you. Like, I don't really see a lot about it girls, making dinner for their husband or cleaning their home. Like, I feel like they have a clean space, but it's never really like I'm taking care of other people. But in Proverbs 31, that is crucial to her character. That is crucial to her identity. Taking care of other people, helping her husband, her family, being there for others. Even though it's talking about the description of her, a lot of who she is built upon what she does for the community, how she cares for people, how she shows the love of God to people. So an it girl follows trends. I didn't really see any mention about like the Proverbs 31 woman following trends. Now, of course, trends are different now in 2024 than they were when Proverbs 31 was written. Obviously there wasn't social media, so there weren't all these constantly changing trends and like things to keep up with. But I'm sure that there was trends in the culture, things that other people were doing, the other women in the community, in the village, they might have been wearing certain patterns and whatever. It doesn't really say that she followed any trends or that she followed what other people were doing. It says that she used what she had to make the best of her situation. That's what it seems like to me, that she used the materials that she had that she could afford, and she made what she could with them. Both an it girl and a Proverbs 31 woman, they do have some things in common. And I think specifically they're defined by more than just looks. And there's something about them that's noticeable, that people can identify. That's different. That's notable. That's worth wanting to be like. There's qualities that we can see in both an it girl and a Proverbs 31 woman that we want to strive for. I didn't even write down a way to wrap this video up. I literally have no idea what's going to come out of this. This might not ever get posted. I really hope it does, because it took a lot of time. But I think it's just something to ponder. I'm not saying that being an it girl is bad. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I like and that I follow from like the it girl concept. When we read about what a Proverbs 31 woman is, there's a lot to be desired in a lot of us, and we really can find a lot of things that we can identify and need to work on. And this has been definitely challenging for me to do this research and realize there's a lot of areas in which I'm still growing and I'm still working, and that's exciting to me, right? Because it's like there's always something to improve on, and now I have some actionable steps that I can take to become more like a Proverbs 31 woman. Literally, if you stay to the end of this video, I love you. Thank you so much for your support. I don't really know what I'm doing, if I'm doing YouTube, whatever, but just that you love me enough and that you love this topic enough to like watch the video, watch the whole thing. I love you. You're amazing. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I will try to put my links in the description. Read Proverbs 31. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this was accurate. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You can let me know in the comments or my messages. We can talk about it. Maybe there's some updates that I can make to the video, some additions, some things that I didn't talk about. If you have ideas of things you want me to talk about, of course, let me know. If you have questions about my lifestyle, the things that I like to do, the things that I spend my time on, let me know. I would love to talk about them. As I said, I like to talk. I like to share with people and get ideas. I hope you liked the video. I'll stop talking now. Okay. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video. I think I said that like 100 times, but yeah. Bye.